This is iHeart Communities. I'm your host, Jade Harrell, keeping you connected to our community. You never know what it's like for another person unless you walk a mile in their shoes. Well, YWCA has embraced this idea with regard to stopping rape, sexual assault, and gender violence. It's called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, and I'm joined today by YWCA CEO Adrian Bracy. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you for having me, Jade. I appreciate it.
It's absolutely my pleasure, and I'm just so glad that you all are keeping this going. Looking forward to the event. For those who don't know, let's talk about Walk a Mile in Her Shoes and how the idea originated.
Well, the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is an actual national 501c3 nonprofit organization, and that organization was started because of this issue around sexual assault and violence against women, and actually was formed to bring men involved with this issue, and so it evolved there. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a national initiative. So the YWCA in St. Louis, 5 years ago, we were approached by a board member who did the Walk a Mile in El Paso with the YWCA, and she brought it to our board, and I loved the idea, and so we started the walk, and here we are 5 years later.
Yes, and still growing strong, and you've had quite a bit of success, because each year there's an increasing number of participants, most certainly an increasing number of men that brave the walk, so I feel like the awareness is working.
I think so, Jay. And, you know, the thing about this event, it does bring awareness around, number one, the issue of what women go through with sexual assault and rape and so forth. But then it's also a good awareness for the YWCA because a lot of people, unfortunately, if they've not experienced our services, they don't know what we do. So this is a branding and awareness event.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah,
well, since we have you as our CEO, help us introduce and reintroduce the YWCA in our area and the services that you provide.
Well, thank you. Sure. So the YWCA, we are a social service agency. We provide sexual assault counseling, whether it's group counseling, whether it's individual counseling, what have you, for those individuals that have experienced some type of sexual abuse in their lives, whether it's now or 20 years ago, 50, whatever, it doesn't matter. You've been through it. We will help you get through this. So that's one area. And then through the sexual assault services, we also work with unfortunate teens that have been through sex trafficking, human trafficking. And I know we think that's an international problem, but it's really a domestic problem right here in Missouri.
Really?
So, yes. And it's a growing,
what are we not aware of?
Well, you know, it's one of those issues that people don't want to talk about because we don't want to believe that
that's not
human trafficking is not in St. Louis or Missouri even, but it's because mainly the social media where the girls find the men actually find the girls on the social media and then they convince them with nice things and so forth, and then the next thing you know they're being trafficked. So we find that is a growing issue, and so we're here. The good thing is the YWCA is here to respond to
it.
And then we do have domestic violence services that we provide. Our largest program is Head Start, which a lot of people don't know. We are the largest provider of Head Start services in this community.
That is a surprise.
It's a surprise. Yes, and we do partner with about 10 other child care agencies. But what people don't know is that Head Start goes above and beyond the babies, 0 to 5. We go and help the parent because it's one thing if you help the child, but if they have to go home hungry or violence or whatever it is, then you're back to square one. So we actually have parent involvement with our program.
Yeah.
And so then we also have a housing program for homeless women, ages 18 and older. They're single. And we just switched over from transitional housing, which was a program for women up to 24 months of housing, and now we've converted as of July 1st to permanent supportive housing. So they no longer have to leave. They could stay until they feel that they're ready and they're self-sufficient.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's great.
That's fantastic. That's how
that.
you break the cycle. That's it,
right. Because we found that most of our women, after they leave, back in transitional housing, they would then come back after 6 or 7 months, or whatever it is.
Well, for sure.
They come back.
Right.
So,
because, it takes a little more than just, it's great to have the boost and the hand up. It is. But to continue to hold my hand until I'm self-sufficient, even if you think of working with infants who are learning to walk, it takes a minute before they get sure footing.
Exactly.
And with something that just can really break you all the way down to your core, to zero, and to start all over, it's similar. It's going to take a minute to be able to regain your footing. And that's what I love about not only that program, but that you do focus on this. Yes, it's YWCA for the women, right? But there's, for everyone who loves support. I mean, there's no area that we are that others aren't effective. People who care about us, our families, our friends, where we work.
Exactly.
It's all encompassing.
It is. You're right. It affects the whole family. It really does. All of the services we provide really does impact the entire family some way or another.
Yeah.
Another program that we do provide is called the Women Economic Empowerment Program. That's where women go into these non-traditional careers like automotive and construction.
Talk about it, Adrian. Yes.
And that's where the money is. So we want them to do non-traditional things so that they can make the weight earning of men. And so we encourage that. And then, of course, our teens program, where we help young women through leadership, self-esteem building, just different, entrepreneurship classes and so forth. And then our racial justice program is where we get involved because our mission is eliminating racism and empowering women.
Right.
So our racial justice program really works to bring about reconciliation and healing around that topic.
For sure.
That's what we do.
Well, that's a lot of great stuff. You've got your work cut out for you. There's something about a few of those services that really stand out, and that the one where you talk about sexual assault and that a woman, even if it was 20 years ago, could still get some help. I know that statistics show that many sexual assault victims don't report.
Right.
And so that means we're carrying this around.
Yes.
And we become adults. And then how was that ever dealt with and affects the way that we live today? And that you actually provide some help with that. I really value that. And then this economic empowerment portion with the non-traditional environments. So not only are you giving them tools, but I imagine when they go into these non-traditional workplaces for women that you're equipping them to deal with those that aren't ready for them to be there.
You're right, and we help them with
run
mentors.
Into that. Yeah,
they will run into it, and and I know this firsthand because I was in the NFL for 18 years.
You were right.
So, I understand that male-dominated environment.
You were in the NFL.
Women. Yes, I worked for the NFL 18 years.
Go on and tell that story. Well, tell me a little more about that story, Miss Adrian.
Well, yeah.
What did you do there?
Finance. So I'm a CPA by trade, and I started with the Miami Dolphins as a controller. The Rams came to St. Louis, and I moved to St. Louis in 95 to work as the vice president of finance for the Rams. And then after 12 years, I ended up working for the Arizona Cardinals, the Big Wolves, in Arizona for 2 years as the CFO.
Oh, yeah.
And my passion, Jade, was always helping women and girls.
I bet. Well, you understood this, Adrian. So
firsthand.
From your experience in the male-dominated world where, maybe it wouldn't be physical assault, it might be some other...
Oh, yes, harassment or... Right.
So absolutely. All of that is there. How did you overcome, and what method, what tools did you employ to stay optimistic, to keep persevering? How did you get through?
Well, that's a good question. I actually had a mentor, and I think mentors can be so useful and helpful to women and men, but in particular women, just being able to talk to those who have walked in our shoes or maybe walking in our shoes, and just having someone that you can talk to who can relate and understand. There's nothing like having that support of someone who really gets it, and not someone who says, "Oh, I get it," but they've never walked in your shoes, so they really don't know. So having a mentor helped me. Of course, my faith in God was, of course, the foundation of everything that I do and that I am. So, I always just trusted God would really help me and bring divine intervention. So whenever I had those issues, I did turn to my faith. And to like I said, my mentor. So, it's just important that women surround ourselves with people that really care about us and who will help us through those difficult times. So that really was what really helped me. And then I learned not to take things personal in that male-dominated environment. Just don't take it, even if it is personal. I try not to let it become internal, because that's where you get just really, really depressed and you go into that spiral. So those are the things that we try to help our women by placing them with mentors in construction or automotive or what have you.
I love that. Well, then that brings us back to being able to understand what it's like to be a woman, and our event, the signature event here, Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. So tell us about this year's event.
Well, we're excited once again to have this event. Again, it's going to be at Ballpark Village, and it will start, registration will open up around 5 o'clock. Typically, people show up around 4:30 or so, but 5 o'clock, is kind of when more people come down, and then at 6 p.m. is when we start the actual walk. And for the guys who are listening, it's really not a whole mile. In these 3-inch pumps, red pumps. It's probably a block or two, really. So we take pity on them, and
you have to. They don't. They can't. That's enough that's enough to give an idea, right? And
exactly.
And I think it's kind of poetic justice, because it wasn't a woman who invented these things.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's just go back to that whole premise.
Exactly. But we are going to have a massage set up for them. Massage Lux, who's one of our sponsors.
Oh, what a great idea.
Yeah, so they'll be there, and they'll be able to help rub the guy, hopefully the bunions or whatever they show up, but they
bring them back to life here.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So essentially, the guys, they'll put on these red heels, and they'll put on their great supportive registration T-shirt, and they will walk to show their support and awareness and concern and commitment to our women who deal with a whole lot. So just being in the shoes is kind of a symbolic way that the guys can show that they're trying to understand, and most certainly are trying to make a difference in the areas of rape, sexual assault, and gender violence. So they walk a couple of blocks, they come on back, and we all speak on some of the issues and areas of major concern here, share our stories, our victories, and our challenges, and then we just celebrate together.
And we celebrate, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, because we are making progress, and by just having this event and folks coming out is a huge achievement in the goal and strive for a break in this terrible trend.
Absolutely. Bringing about awareness. That's one thing. It's hard to stop something if people are not aware of it.
Where can there be action without awareness? So I'm with you there.
That's it.
All right. Well, you guys can log on to YWCASt.Louis.org, YWCAStLouis.org, and click Walk a Mile in Her Shoes to get more information about registration. The event is happening on August 3rd, so it's just next week at Ballpark Village, 601 Clark Avenue. And the phone number to call if you're interested in sponsoring, or I'm sure volunteer opportunities are not only for this event, but for many of the efforts. You heard all the work that they're trying to do there. Is 314-531-1115, 314-531-1115. You can actually use the extension 5230 and ask for Amy Frey to find out how to get involved that way. But register, come out. We look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to breaking the cycle and ending the streak of violence, rape, and assault for our women.
Yes.
Thank you,
well
Adrian.
Said.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Adrian Bracy, who is the CEO of the YWCA of Metro St. Louis. I love speaking to you and look forward to speaking to you here again.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Jay. Take care.
It's my pleasure. Thanks. All right, that's it for this week. If you have questions or comments or have something you'd like to include in the community calendar, you can leave a message on our message box at 314-333-8369, 314-333-8369. And for more information about our show or any of our guests, you can visit us online and listen to the podcast at Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com. And search Community Connection with Jade Harrell. You all be blessed, do blessed, and take care.